Hey everybody, in this video we're going to take this bad boy, the Mevo Plus. We are going to get outside and do some basic testing with it. Hey everybody, Scott Oden coming at you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take this Mevo Plus outside. I think one of the big things people want when they get this unit is the ability to go outside with it. So let's go ahead and do that today. Now we're going to go out and use this. We're here in Illinois, nothing is open yet except for parks. You can do some of that, and we have a park by us that actually has some golf holes on it. So this park is particularly open, even though at golf courses, practice facilities, ranges are not open. So this one's open. It actually has a police officer that sits there and monitors it, makes sure it doesn't get too crowded. So we were able to go do this, keep our social distancing and all that. And so I was excited to get out and just enjoy a nice day, but also get to test this thing, because that's something I'm interested in, is how well will this work outside, and go from there. I think there's a couple of really interesting things that came up as we do it. The testing conditions, I admit, they're not perfect. Now that's something that I'll talk about at the end, why that does matter, but it's one of those things where we have to take what we have to get it, and I'm kind of curious as how it would work in those conditions. And again, I'll explain at the end why that does matter. So without further ado, let's go through the video. Let's let you see it in action. Today we're gonna just use it with E6 Connect, show some of that software. In our next video, we're gonna show it with the FlightScope Golf app. Make sure you don't miss out on that one. Click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already. And let's get to using it outside first. All right, so we're out here. We are gonna play on the E6 Connect. We are here, local park, actually has a couple golf holes. So during this quarantine time, parks have opened. We're able to be out here social distancing. So we figured let's take the Mevo Plus out. Let's see what we can do as far as just playing some shots. So what I'm interested in doing this is I wanna see, if I hit a shot, does it read and correlate to the software? That's one of the things I'm excited to see, is if I play E6, I'm gonna see the software do this, and we can play some golf holes in a practice setting. So I've got my ball. We got a par 3 here to start. We're gonna play 2 par 3s, see what we get. So we got 166.8 here, and I've got my Mevo Plus aligned. We're going at that hole right in line with the black window. So we're just going to hit away at that and see what we get. We pulled it, got it on the Mevo Plus, definitely pulled it. We are downwind, and we hit it over the back left part of the green. Pretty much feel like that's what I did. One thing I noticed there, it does take the wind into account. So it just tracks the ball. So I've got to play the wind, all that stuff. We're downwind on this. So I've got 78 feet, 25 yards. So I've got to try to land it, maybe 20. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right out here in front. Let's see. It did get that one. It just took a sec, and then it put a lot of spin on that thing. So that's interesting as we read that. So we'll take a look at that as we go further on this outdoor mode, because you see how that, I don't know if there was a ridge there or something, but that wasn't how that should have worked. But we'll see. Okay. And then we got our next one, 149. Again, we are downwind. We are downwind. So let's go ahead. Let's get our shot here. I'm gonna go pitching wedge right at that pole. That one's pretty good. It's drawing a little left, little delay going from unit. So a little left, it seems decent. Let's see how our spin numbers and stuff look. That's what I'm interested in after seeing that last shot. Pitching wedge, 10,000 RPMs of spin. Seems like a little bit much. We'll have to mess with that a little bit as we go. But, as far as hitting it, it did go where I was looking. It did go there, and then we'll see here. One thing we're gonna try now, I'm curious, we gotta get this set up, so we gotta see what happens if we do some short game practice. So just hitting those 2 holes, let's do this, and let's get over there, try a couple pitches, because that was interesting. So let's do this. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna do let's do a 25-yard boulder shot, easy setup. Let's get that wedge back out, and let's see what we get. So again, 25 yards. I just had 26 yards. So should be pretty close. Let's see. Let's see what we get. A read. It does want me to look it up a little bit. Maybe that was why. Let's see here. One thing outside is that, and I don't know if this has anything to do with outside or if it's just today. It isn't. It's just taking a little second to look. There we go. Let's see if it gets it. It did get that one, okay. So I just had to recalibrate it. Again, it had a lot of spin on it for such a short shot. Now we got to test. It is putting a lot of spin, 7,000 RPMs, and it is in outdoor mode. So we'll have to mess with this a little bit. Let's see there. That one was hit a little better. Yeah, it's putting. I'd love to think that I'm spinning it that much, hitting that little 1-hop spinner, but I'm not spinning it like that. So that's interesting. 7866. We'll have to mess with the setup here a little bit. I get it, we have a little bit of an interesting setup going on. That one was hit really good. Let's see, that was the best one I hit. And you can see it's just ripping. Now that could be a little false edge or something. Let's see how much spin we get. 13,518. That's interesting. So, interesting results so far going outside with it. I think that's something we'll have to look at, trying that out. We're going to try to, another video, get into the Flight Scope Golf app. We want to see if it's just an E6 thing or if it's an outdoor spin mode thing that we see. All right? Okay, so you can see there was some issues going on with the unit. Now, a couple of things. Let's talk setup first. Now, again, wasn't able to have a perfect setup on this. I'm going to admit that 100%. But why does that matter? Because it's really tough to get a perfect setup outside anyway. Even if you're at a range, if you're hitting off mats, that thing's going to be sitting. If you're going to go 8 feet back, you're not going to have it in a perfect location. Usually you're running into things when you go 8 feet back. So you're going to have to figure that part out. You're also going to have to figure out the grass. That was something. This unit's pretty light, so it was sitting weird in the grass, and the grass would just overpower it. So as far as getting it level, that was something that we needed to address. So it's almost like you need to bring like a board out with it to set it on to be able to get it to read. Now, I was happy with the left and rights. Where those shots were hit, that is where they went. So that's good, but the spin readings and stuff were interesting. Now, I get it too that, the ball was sitting there on the mat and it would see it take off. But, in theory, it's just reading the ball and how that works. So for some reason, it was getting, it must have been seeing it go as to double the revolutions or whatever it's supposed to go. It must have been seeing it twice. But that was interesting. And we did have a little bit of downwind. That should have knocked off some spin. But, yeah, that was also one of the things we were going in. So for me, as we're going outside, definitely going to need a little bit more testing with it, because when I used it on a good range, flat ground, that was okay out in Jacksonville. And again, that was literally the first time I had used it there. But I think that's going to be something we have to look at. Do you need to have the perfect setup to use this unit outside? Or if you're somewhere where, hey, I'm hitting at a range and we've got mats, and then you have the sidewalk, and then you have the grass area, and that's where you're going to set your unit up, is that going to affect you? How they manicure the grass, is that going to affect it? The other thing too, when we have our X3 and then TrackMan, I love taking those on the course. That's one of the best parts about those units. They do have self-leveling legs on them, so we would take those and use those in different lies and different situations. So, you know, what I saw here is, you know, if we had the ball in a spot where it wasn't exactly lined up and we couldn't get that figured out, then you couldn't maybe get a good read. So let's say we wanted to hit a shot out of some thick rough and see how that affected things. I'm not sure you could use this unit for that. So definitely indoors, still love it. Outdoors, the verdict, definitely got to test it some more, and hopefully we're going to be able to open that up. So that's going to be the challenge that I issue, is if you have one, let's get it outside, let's test it, let's see what we can do. I will do that as soon as we are able to here in Illinois, not at our park, but at a real driving range. Hopefully that's sooner than later, but I think that's some of the questions that are still out about using this unit and then going from there. And it was on outdoor mode, we had it measured off, all that good stuff. So that's interesting findings that we had with the unit. Leave your questions down below. Love to have a discussion about how it works and how the unit's doing, but we'll see what we think about it and we'll go from there. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you don't miss out on any future videos. We will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.